Alright everyone, it has happened again. Today's first video mocking Joe Biden for getting mocked by the Taliban so soundly. They decided to recreate the Iwo Jima flag raising photo in full US military gear on a pile of rubble raising the Taliban flag. They are now the de facto government of Afghanistan. Of course, this has some of their neighbors worried because they might get expansionist at some point. Once you have a base of operations to launch attacks from, it becomes a little bit easier than doing it from a cave. Anyway, Biden has totally lost it. The other night did a live reaction. You can look at that if you want to Biden's speech, which initially was billed as only about Afghanistan, but then he meandered off into Hurricane Henri and stuff first. So you have to go through the video quite a bit to get to the part where he's actually talking about Afghanistan. He had 5,000 people at peak watching the actual official White House stream. The reaction that I was doing had like 7,400 people at peak, so most popular president ever. Of course, 80 million votes, 80 million scoops of ice cream. Hilarious. First and foremost, pinned comment down below if you're watching this video on YouTube with links to 4 other video hosting sites that I use. Keep in mind, 2 exclusive videos a day go there. They don't go on YouTube because YouTube at this point doesn't allow you to have certain opinions about certain subjects anymore. So if you want true free speech, you can't use the broadcast yourself site. Oh wait, hasn't been broadcast yourself now for 2 years. I forget they changed their slogan. What is it now anyway? Fuck yourself? screw your whole family? Who knows? But link in the description. Like, the Taliban sucks. Theocratic, very brutal, especially towards women. Not exactly in line with, what I would consider liberal modernity. Just to be clear, I'm not a fan of the Taliban. But their trolling has definitely, they've upped the ante on that. They've embraced the cyber generation on a level that the Democratic Party appears not to. And so they're running rings around them. Like, they had the fucking Taliban was playing with bumper cars and shit the second they wandered into Kabul, having a great time, by the way, at it. What's not to like about Beijing Biden's illegitimate administration getting completely trolled? One thing I will say, some people, especially like the neocon pundits, are like, well, this is such a disrespect to the United States, we should nuke them, and stupid shit like that's like, no, getting out was a good idea. The trolling Joe Biden because of the way in which we left Afghanistan. It's all Biden's fault. His ego did not allow him to have Trump taking credit for ending the war. He tried to take credit again last night. Well, I ended the war. No, you didn't. The withdrawal was already brokered before you were in office. It was brokered by Donald Trump. Your role was screwing up the withdrawal by kicking it back 6 weeks, angering tribal forces, ensuring they wouldn't do jack to stop the Taliban, and demoralizing Afghan troops so that they had no reason to fight because of the illegitimacy of the government there when it looked weak and pathetic for not pushing back against your unilateral decision to ignore the initial deal. That's why it happened. They dressed up entirely in American gear, thankfully for them left behind by Joe Biden by the crate load. They have thousands and thousands of U.S. vehicles right now. Biden belatedly talking about, well, we're trying to think about ways to scuttle the armor. The time to do that was before we withdrew. You had months to plan these things. You could easily have had the logistics in place to run a couple of bombing raids to destroy the U.S. equipment you didn't want to lift out. You had plenty of time to evacuate personnel. I like how he's like, well, in the last week we evacuated like 5,000 people. Okay, why didn't you begin evacuating them sooner when the Kabul airport wasn't embattled and there was no risk to U.S. citizens? Instead, you waited till the Taliban were in Kabul itself surrounding the airport. You now have ISIS operative again in the region. And this is the biggest failure. Biden's biggest failure last night was trying to invent a new term called ISIS-K. This is his way of deftly avoiding admitting the obvious, which is the JV team is back. The second Trump left office, they come roaring right back. Because they know that U.S. foreign policy will be a fucking joke again, like it was under Barack Obama or George W. The one person that actually scared them isn't in office right now. Hopefully he will be again in 2024, then this problem will magically go away again. It's like Trump had a magic wand related to terrorism. Another thing he never gets any credit for is stepping out of the way so that the Iranians curb-stomped ISIS in Syria. I thought it was funny that people thought that was a pro-Russian move. No, it's not. Russia's not occupying Damascus. They just kicked the shit out of people that were terrorizing their friends. Who cares? Not really our struggle. We shouldn't be there in the first place. Same with Afghanistan. But this is hilarious. I mean, the Taliban definitely, I guess it's probably because, like, some of the older dudes got bombed, and so now you have a bunch of younger upstarts in the Taliban, and they come from a generation where even then they have, like, smartphones and shit. Yeah, things are heavily censored, but they still want to watch, TikTok videos and shit like that, and so they're trolls now. The thing is, Biden is pushing 80 years old. Well, therein lies the difference, I suppose. So anyway, you can look forward. We don't have mean tweets from Trump on Twitter. Now we have Taliban tweets. Taliban memes are now the big thing. This is the weirdest goddamn timeline. I told you that 2021 would be weirder than 2020, and a lot of people didn't believe me at the time. Trust me, I think that my prediction has already come true, and, we still got a third of the year left, so fucking buckle up, kid. That's about all. Peace out.